time for your weekly dose of pop culture
with Cassie and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
I still can't hear. There's no sound.
Okay, there is
Now
no
I can.
sound, is there?
Now I
You can hear. You
Now
know
I
why? Because I had everything on mute.
Okay.
Welcome to the show. It is Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture. So it must be Saturday night, and we must be talking all things pop culture. Ed is in the house along with Scooby Life. Pop culture kids are in the building. Kenny, how are you this week?
I am just doing great this week. I'm doing good this week. Can you hear me?
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
Audrey. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Of course I can hear you.
I can't hear me.
You can't hear me.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm fine.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't really hear me on the headphones, but I know what I'm saying because I'm saying it.
That's so meta. I know what I mean to say, and this is what I'm saying.
Scooby Life and
You know what I'm
Audrey,
saying?
how you guys doing?
How is everybody? How's your week? How's your life? How's your Saturday night as we hang out and kick it and talk about the ladies of television as we kind of wrap up Women's History Month and celebrating kind of women. Last week we talked a little bit about women in film. We didn't do really women in music because we got sidetracked with the Batman and some other things this week. But we wanted to kind of finish out the weekend. I think you had, Steve is here.
Steve's in the house.
Steve's in the house. Ed's in the house. Scooby Life's in the house. Let's start in the house, either on the Facebook page, Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture, or on the YouTube page.
Yeah, let us know you're in the house. Let us know you're here.
K-Walk Comedy on YouTube. Either way, you found us. We're here. We're talking about women in television, kind of like the leading ladies. I don't know whether we'll hit all of them. Kenny had like a really full list, so we're just gonna. Do you want to dive in or? Oh wow! You know what? And I printed out your list earlier, and then I see Ed has added to the list. So I don't have all these images. Whoa, and he's got a lot of good ones too that we missed.
No, I didn't miss them. I was trying to keep the list short.
Okay. Because Ed's got about 30 women that are awesome on this list.
I know, but I was trying to keep the list.
We got to say props to Ed's list because Ed's list is awesome.
Props to Ed's list. He's got a few people.
Ed, he's got more than a few people. I got to make sure I have, because Ed left a message last week and I didn't have the phone like connected, so I got to make sure I connect the phone so I'm doing things right. so I get the list in case Ed calls in. Can I work my iPhone? And yes, I can, and it does work. And I just got to make sure I attach it to the Rodecaster Pro so that if Ed does call, we can hear it, and stuff like that. There, okay. Because last time Ed left a message and I was just like, oh, wait, I missed Ed's call. And anyway, but again, he wasn't saying anything in his message except, how great Die Hard is. And anyway.
You know what? Since we're doing Women's Month, you know what would be good? A Die Hard starring women, and you take John McClane's daughter and make her the star of a Die Hard and put her in the situation. That's Women's Month. Like, the next generation of Die Hard.
So kind of like the female Ghostbusters, kind of like a reimagining of Die Hard with a female lead.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
I'm not even going to put that comment up on the screen. Okay, there you go. We'll let Ed have that one.
That was Steve that said that.
Oh, is that Steve?
That was
Okay.
Steve that said that. Yeah. So
Oh, goodness. And of course, Ed agreeing with him as usual.
yes, of course.
All right. Anyway,
Okay, so
talk.
so
I mean, we have a
uh,
lot of women on the list, but can we go through some of these women on Ed's list? Because none
yes,
of them, I think, are on your list, and there's a lot of them.
I know. I
And
was trying to keep it short. I'm just
but that's not the there is one um uh go ahead. Well, let's just tackle some of
okay. Well, of course, he's got the Batman, women of Batman, Eartha Kitt, and
oh yeah, and
Yvonne
Yvonne
Craig,
Craig,
and Julie
definitely.
Newmar. Of course, he didn't have on there. Julie Newmar.
He didn't have Julie Newmar, but
Yeah,
you got to get all
and
the cat women.
yeah, and
Were there any other female villains on Batman?
yeah, there was oh man, there were a few, and I can't remember who the actresses were who played them, but there were a
Okay.
couple. Like
All
I
right.
think
Well,
I want to say Tallulah Bank.
Tallulah Bankhead, she was on
Yeah,
there.
Tallulah
Okay.
Bankhead.
Okay.
I
All
want
right.
to say she was one of the villains. Okay, but moving on. I had this one on, but I took her off. I I,
Who is
I, I
that?
I might have had her on there, and she might still be
I didn't.
on my list. Sally Fields
Sally
for
Fields, the
the Flying
Flying
Nun,
Nun.
and and Gidget, and
Oh, I forgot about Gidget. I used to watch Gidget on
you know
Channel 17.
and you know he doesn't have on his list, and I just thought of it when I saw Gidget. Patty Austin.
Patty Austin.
No,
Who is she?
who's it?
Oh,
What?
oh, Patty Duke.
Patty Duke. Patty Duke Austin. Yeah, Patty
Yeah,
Duke.
Patty Duke. That's
They walk
right.
alike,
That's
they
right.
look alike.
Sometimes they even talk alike.
Like
I didn't know. Oh, I love this. He had the Heathers, Heather
yes,
Locklear and Heather Thomas
yes,
from The Fall Guy and T.J. Hooker. The Heathers, of
yep.
course.
And
When we're
Barbara Eden.
talking leading ladies of television, Barbara Eden and I Dream of Jeannie, Viola Davis and How to Get Away with Murder.
No,
And oh wait, huh?
interesting enough, Barbara Eden, when she did the I Do they had to, I think they had to pull the skirt up not to show her belly button.
Oh really? You don't see belly button?
I don't think you see belly button in that show.
Oh, here's a good one. Carolyn Jones.
Who's she on? Oh,
Oh
yeah,
wait,
that was him.
wait. Was she the Adams Family? She was the Adams Family, not the Munsters. I'm thinking of Yvonne
DeCarlo.
DiCarlo. Yvonne DiCarlo was the
Yeah.
Adams Family.
Um,
Lucy
Lawless.
Lawless.
Yes, yes.
Xena,
Who was
Princess Warrior.
who was in love with her in the 90s in the early 2000s? Because I was. Um,
We also had what was it?
Danita
Denai
Guerrera, Danaya.
Denai Guerrera from The Walking Dead.
Which one is she on the
Michonne.
walk? Which one is she on the Walking Dead?
Michonne. She was
Oh, Michonne. That's
awesome.
Michonne. Oh yeah, I love her. I don't know why I didn't know that.
Michonne.
I love her.
Number 16. I think he's got
Hold
the
on,
wrong name. Her name's not
Michonne.
Sarah Manning. It's Tatiana Manning
Wait,
from Orphan Black.
hold on. Diana Guerrera is on my Whoopi Goldberg list.
Okay. More from Kenny's list. Oh man. I think her name
Lindsay
is
Wagner.
Lindsay Wagner, the bionic woman. Uh, props to the leading women of Gilligan's Island. Although he put Dawn Wells and Tina Lewis. But what about Lovey? He left out Mrs. Howell. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
but Mrs. Howell wasn't as hot as Dawn Lewis and Tina Louise. I'm sorry.
That's just, we're not trying to be sexist here. We want to
I'm not
include
trying to be.
all the women,
I'm not
leading
trying to be
women.
sexist, but
And
Mr.
even on number 13, he has Mabel King from What's Happening, but
Yeah,
he forgot Shirley Hemphill, who was
yeah,
also
oh
equally
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. She was
Speaking of leading
hilarious.
ladies in television, and I know it wasn't a female it was a Richard Pryor special, but it was kind of awesome because he had all of these women featured in that special. It was like a who's who of some of the female comedy talent of the time. Marsha Warfield, Shirley Hemphill, just like tons of folks who are in that special, that Richard Pryor special. If it's out there in the
And he had,
interwebs
and
on
he had,
YouTube, it's worth a watch.
and he had another one that's on my Whoopi Goldberg list. Sandra Bernhard.
Sandra Bernard, of course, your list, and again, okay, it's your list. We'll let you go with it. A good one that wasn't on the list that you created, Kitty, is Candace Bergen. Murphy
Yes,
Brown
Murphy
was
Brown.
an iconic leading lady,
Yes,
definitely. And one of
Marlo.
the early leading ladies, one of the pioneers, was Marlo Thomas,
Yes,
because she was that
that
girl.
girl.
I love the intros because they would always do an intro where she's kind of like
Da, 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 da.
where something would happen, and then they point to her and it'd be like, oh, it's that girl. Anyway,
I,
Angie
I remember. I
Dickinson,
remember her having.
policewoman.
I remember her having a boyfriend that just like you're looking at him and we're like, he's just not worthy.
Okay.
Like she needed a better looking guy like me. But go ahead.
uh, the ultimate, and in fact, well, I went to Rutgers in Camden. I was talking about that earlier, and one of the professors was actually a sister of the star of Murder She Wrote, and she was definitely a leading lady of television, and that was Angela Lansbury. But there was a professor there.
You skipped
Um,
over Angie Dickinson.
I thought I did Policewoman. I said that.
No, you did.
I
Pepper.
did.
Pepper Anderson.
Pepper. Pepper Anderson.
Pepper Anderson.
Hey, are you playing the show on a phone or something? Because I'm hearing a reverby, echoey
Yeah,
thing.
but my volume is all the way down like it usually is.
Okay, I believe that girl was based out of Philly too. I thought she was in. I thought she was either in New York or Chicago.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Cause, I don't
We're
know.
gonna, we're gonna have to look that up.
Yeah,
I thought
Ed,
she was, and like
I
I
mean
really
Ed's
thought she.
usually good with the research, but
No,
I
I
thought
thought
it
I
was.
thought I thought she was in Chicago. Really.
Was it Chicago?
Yeah, I thought it was Chicago. It was like a big city. I didn't think it was Philly.
Mm. And then you had the leading ladies from One Day at a Time, Valerie Bertinelli, Mackenzie Phillips, and Bonnie Franklin.
Yes.
And yeah, these are some really good ones, Ed, too. And Kenny, I'm surprised you didn't have them on your
I
list. I think
had
your list,
them. I had them
and
on
then
my list, but I made it
you
shorter.
you edited it for time. I hear you. I hear you.
Mhm.
But especially like when you talk about like action dramas and stuff, we had like you know um, Angie Dickinson, as policewoman. She was probably the precursor to like Cagney and Lacey. That was like the ultimate. Before there was Law and Order, there was Cagney and Lacey, and that
Yes.
was awesome.
Yes.
Isabel Stanford from Sanford, rather, from
But you forgot.
the Jeffersons.
Oh, you forgot.
Oh,
Who
what
plays
about
Florence?
Edith from
No, no, no,
All in the
no.
Family?
Yo, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Either for all the family, but when
Gene
you say
Stapleton.
yeah, G. Stapleton, but Isabel Sanford, you also forgot who played Florence.
Oh yes,
Um,
Florence. What?
because
Yeah, she
and
also
she,
starred in 227.
yes, she also started
Marla Gibbs.
Marla Gibbs. I was watching a movie with her in it last night, The Brothers, where she played
Mm-hmm.
D.L. Hughley's mother.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good.
I
You
was
gotta get
wrong. It
home.
was New York. Okay, yeah,
It
that girl
wasn't.
was from New York. Um, you had uh, Linda
Linda Lab.
Lavin and Alice, which I love that theme song. Early to bed, early to rise. There's a new girl in town. Okay, all right. I'm gonna give myself the
Yeah. Give yourself the
yeah.
buzzer.
I'm just
Give
gonna go
yourself
ahead
the
and do
buzzer.
that.
Give
Get
yourself the
it
buzzer.
out the way because
Go ahead and give
yeah.
yourself the buzzer. Give yourself the buzzer. Well,
I need to slap myself in the face.
I didn't hear the slap or the buzzer.
Uh, you
No, I
couldn't
don't
hear
hear it.
that?
No, I can't hear it.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Your buzzer's not working.
My buzzer's not working?
Your buzzer's not working. Okay, now I hear it. I hear it very low, very faint. You know, that's better. It's yeah. Okay.
Okay. Slaps are working, buzzers are working.
Mr. The Applegate.
Oh, another show with a great theme song was Moonlighting. Sybil
Sometime
Shepherd.
by night, sometime by
The
day,
buzzard is working now. The
moonlighting
buzzard.
strangers that we met along the way.
Uh oh. I was thinking a great show topic would be catchy TV theme songs. Oh yes, that would be
Oh,
awesome.
Greatest
Because there
American
are some
Hero he put on there too. Believe it
great.
or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free.
Alrighty. Also, Married with Children, not just Christina Applegate, but also the mom on that show,
Oh, look at
Seagal.
Ed's comment.
Uh,
No,
I
below
was
that,
thinking,
below that,
huh?
below that.
Why can't I see? I'm not seeing my comments below that.
There's a
There was
comment below
another
that. Yeah. No, below
Marla
that.
Gibbs.
No.
All right.
No, below that. Who else
I
started
don't see it.
moonlighting? Who else started
Oh,
moonlighting?
now
That would
there's a
be
Philly connection
yeah,
because he
no.
was from from South Jersey.
That would be Bruce Willis, star of Die Hard.
You know what? I walked right into that, and I should have saw that coming. Did I not walk into that?
Ed, give me some Ed. Pound. We got her Ed. Pound.
Oh, smack for both you and Ed.
Okay.
Um,
Esther Rose, Jeanette Du Bois, and Good Times.
mhm.
And Florence
Is it
Henderson,
Janae? And
Jeanette
of
Du
course,
Bois
Florence Henderson,
of the Brady
mom
Bunch.
from the Brady Bunch, the greatest sitcom
You
of
know,
the
you know,
70s,
another weird thing about the
bar
Brady
none.
Bunch. Another weird thing about the Brady Bunch is that
Better than
Brady,
MASH.
Mike Brady was a widower,
Hmm.
but Carol Brady was a divorcee, which is only mentioned in the first episode, and they steered away from that after that because they didn't want to. They didn't want to broadcast that she was a divorcee.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I always loved the fact that you could tell exactly what Brady Bunch episode just by the way they played the first few bars of the theme song. Womp, 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 womp. And it's like, oh no. And Peter's coming in all dejected. And,
I could. I like the way you can always tell what season it is by the way the men have their hair done. Because towards the
yes,
end, they all got processed and stuff like that.
they all had perms.
They all
Hey,
had perms.
there's times you go through those phases. I mean, I remember my Jerry curl phase. Um, it was a thing in the 80s. I swear it was. It was a
Yeah,
thing.
I just had my
Why can't I
phase.
see?
I was a Penn State Brady Bunch trivia champion back in the day.
Whoa.
Whoa,
Whoa. Serious
whoa,
creds.
whoa.
Those are serious pop culture creds. Man, I mean, I know things, but all things Brady, we got to start that comment because that's
That's actually the episode. All things Brady episode.
All things Brady.
All things Brady. Oh, my
Oh
nose.
my, Marsha,
Um,
Marsha, Marsha.
Marsha. A friend of mine, my friend Beth. My friend Beth bumped into a fence and hit her nose. And she had a
Hmm.
bruise on her nose. And we were on a three-way call, me, Beth, and Mike. And I'm like, so you're like Marsha Brady. Oh, my nose. And they were all like quiet for a minute because they didn't get it at first. And I had to explain
These
it.
youngsters, they have
I know.
no idea. They have no idea just the power and the education of growing up, knowing, just experiencing the Brady Bunch,
The power and
um,
education of growing up Brady.
of grown up Brady. There you go. Whether it's in reruns, because yeah, this you know later stage '90s Brady's not quite the same as those original life lessons you got from the Brady Bunch. When it's time to change, it's time
It's
to
time to change.
rearrange who you are
Mm.
into what you're going to be.
No, no,
Shana
no.
na 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 na
No,
na
no,
na
no.
na.
No, 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 no.
Shana na na
No,
na.
no, 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 no. It's when it's time to change. When it's time to
To
change.
change.
Change. Okay.
uh,
Let's move on to the list.
so Steve was actually in the house when Ed took that title of
Yes.
Brady Bunch champion. All things Brady Bunch is a great idea.
You
Uh,
know what? You know what? Ed. Let's do it. Let's do the Brady show next week.
all things Brady, man. Oh, that
All
would be
things Brady.
awesome.
All things Brady.
Definitely, definitely. So we are going to all things Brady. Oh, that's going to be a tricky thumbnail to make. I'm going to have to put draw the tic tac toe and put our pictures in there.
Next
I
week.
think that would be awesome.
Next week is all things Brady.
So, in talking about the leading ladies from your list, and um, and again, I think Ed's list is awesome. And like you said, he put it in no particular order, but really hit some great ones that you missed. So,
I didn't miss
some of the
them. I was just trying to make the list shorter. I didn't miss them.
all right, giddy up. So now I got to brush up on my Brady facts because it's been a while. Where can we watch some Brady's? Do
I don't know. It's
Are
got to be on
Brady's
somewhere.
streaming on any
It's
service?
got to be on
We got
TV
to
Land
find
or something like
out.
that. It's got to be somewhere. I'm not home, so
Well,
I don't have my
and,
TV. I can usually look on my Roku and find out where it's playing, but I can't do that right now.
okay. Well, before this episode is over, I got to find out where we can stream and watch some Brady episodes.
So
Because
let's
yeah, I need to get yeah the Brady Bunch. I'm sorry. I'm like now I'm
yeah,
obsessed. Oh
yeah.
wait, I think you can watch it on let's see on Hulu. They
Oh
might have
really?
the Brady's
Great.
on Hulu.
Oh
Oh
great.
man, if the Brady Bunch is on Hulu, watch out because I am going to be Bradying my brains out this week. Is that just doesn't sound right, does it?
No, it doesn't. It
Ew.
doesn't. It
I'm
doesn't. It doesn't
gonna
at all.
slap myself in the face a couple times today.
Can't hear the slaps.
So,
Can't hear the slaps.
you can't hear the slaps. I
Can't
don't
hear the
know. Can
slaps.
you guys hear the slaps? I don't. Then evidently the stream deck isn't going on. You can get them on YouTube. Evidently we can watch them on YouTube. So I'll be. And it's funny because if you watch things on YouTube, whatever you watch, it winds up. I guess the algorithm will send you those shows. So if you watch Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture, our old shows will pop up on your telly.
You
And
know
I
what?
do. I watch YouTube on TV now. I don't even watch regular TV
Me
anymore.
neither. I stream everything I
Um,
watch.
I stream
I
everything. You
stream
know what?
everything.
I've been. You know what I've been watching this week because I was on a Fringe binge, and I think I've watched every episode of Fringe at least twice.
You
Um,
know, you said
in the
Friends.
last like
I
5 months.
for the last month I've been watching Friends.
Friends?
Friends on HBO. I've been
Oh,
watching
okay.
Friends, so I'm on season 6 right now.
Oh, get out. I was watching I had watched Leverage Redemption, and then I went back and watched the original Leverage because I think at the beginning of the series I was really heavy into it, like the first maybe two seasons, and then I kind of trailed off. So I've been going back and
When
watching
you watch
Leverage.
when you watch Friends on a steady basis like that, and you kind of
Mhm,
binge it, you kind of see the different personality of the friends, and it's
mhm.
kind of like weird to see them. And that we were on a break. That lasted for a couple of seasons. That that
Oh yeah,
that
well
was a running
that's
joke.
in comedy that's called a comeback. You know,
Yeah,
when you make a joke and then like 20 minutes into your set, you refer back to that joke that killed at the beginning.
we were on a
Um,
break.
we were on a break. Did you watch the Friends reunion?
No, I didn't watch that. I'm gonna watch everything,
Oh,
and
oh,
then
you
go
want to
back and
watch the whole series? Because
no.
and Friends was another one. I think at the time I watched it because I lived in New York. Um, uh, but again, I think I trailed off towards the end. It didn't hold me. The only show that I think really held me all the way through was my X Files. I never stopped watching it. For me, X Files was appointment TV. But you know what? It's weird that you don't have that anymore. Like we used to have an appointment TV like Thursday night. I mean, Thursday night, there was
Yeah,
this whole little lineup of shows you would watch. And I remember those NBC shows where they would actually connect the shows, like on Saturday night, like, a tornado would come, or, a storm would come through. It would be on the Golden Girls, and the same storm was on Empty Nests, and on like all the shows were all spin-offs, so all related, and the same like weather
they did
pattern
that.
would
They
come
did
through
that
all the shows.
when the girls were growing up in the 2000s. They did that a lot in Disney shows.
On Disney shows.
They did a
Okay.
lot on Disney shows. They were all connected, and you
And
know.
even like Saturday night, Love Boat and Fantasy Island
So yeah.
were the two mainstays and the two staples. And I'm such a loser nerd. I know all
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
TV shows.
I tell you what. I tell you what. You loser nerd. You. How about if you take me off the screen, tell them about buying a coffee and seeing our show, because we're at the halfway mark, and then we'll come back to my part of the list.
All right, loser nerd. My fellow loser nerd. Again, it's Saturday night. We thank you so much for joining us, for hanging out on the stream. There is a link in the description. You can support the show by buying us a coffee. We kind of had started this during the pandemic and kind of kept it going. It's been kind of nice because I don't get to see my brother since he lives in the South. I live in the North, meaning he lives in South Jersey. I live in North Carolina, but it's a way that we can connect, and also we get to connect with you guys, talking all things nerdy and television. So we appreciate you guys hanging out. And while you're hanging out, check out in the description a link to Kenny's video. If you have not seen it, oh, please go check it out. He's got over 12,000 views. We're trying to make it go viral, but it's all a part of his Words Out. And for that Words Out production company, it is located in South Jersey. So if you need to record a podcast or record your spoken word album, you need to check out Kenny's link in the description to find out more
And
about
I'm
Words Out
and I'm
Productions.
actually in the Words Out production studio tonight doing the podcast. So here I am in the studio and Words Out production studio doing the podcast. So there you go.
There you go.
Thank you.
So looking at our list, we have Julia Louis Dreyfus, who has starred in
Yo,
a couple different shows.
let me see that picture again. Wow. She
What?
looks really hot in that picture.
Again, we're talking women's history. We're trying to elevate the conversation focus on women who lead TV shows. And really, she started off at Saturday Night Live. I'm not
Yes,
sure if that's where she met her husband, but
I know she. I
what's his
know she
name?
didn't.
Brad.
Yeah, she didn't like her time as that is what she met her husband, I believe, and she didn't like her time in Saturday Night Live, really. But she started Saturday Night Live. She's with
But
the
I think
Seinfeld.
the breakout role had to be as Elaine on Seinfeld,
Yeah,
as the only leading lady in a cast full of men and full of comedy talents that were like, you know, on 10. And then she broke out with Veep. I didn't realize I still have not watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I
yeah,
know that's kind of on my watch list, and
yeah.
I might actually wait till to the summer to really kind of dive into it. I loved WandaVision so much that I hate those limited run shows where you get so into it and you want so much
But
more, and
they
there's
come
only
back.
like
They,
6
yeah,
episodes.
they come back with another season though. They come back with different seasons, and
But we're not getting another season of WandaVision. I loved WandaVision.
well, gotta watch the Doctor Strange movie.
Okay, I still gotta watch the Spider-Man movie too, so that's on my watch list. Um,
So next we have Laverne and Shirley with Penny
yeah, and
Marshall.
Audrey, you're right. We probably could do a Friends show too, because there's
Yeah,
how many seasons? Like 9 seasons of
I
Friends.
think it was like more than that, like 10 or 11, wasn't it? I don't know. I never looked to see how many
Uh,
seasons are coming up. I'm just
okay, so
watching.
you're only
Right
on
now,
6.
I'm on season 6, episode 8.
Up next are two leading ladies who led, and we already talked Cagney and Lacey, but before Cagney and Lacey, there was
Laverne and
Laverne and
Shirley.
Shirley.
Salizo.
Shami,
Shabam.
House and Pep Incorporated. I still don't understand what that meant.
I don't know what that means. No, I don't know.
And again, back to the catchy theme song show, because there's got to be.
We're gonna do it.
Oh wait, I'm all my pictures are out of order, so I'll just hopefully if I have pictures for all the ones that you talk about.
So next we
Next
have
up, this was a staple from the 70s.
yes.
Here's a hint. Oh, wait,
You
I
gotta do
gotta.
the profile. You gotta do the profile.
You gotta do the profile. So I'm sure you probably can guess. We're talking about Charlie's Angels. Farrah Fawcett, Jacqueline Smith, and Kate Jackson, original Angels. Of course, as the show went on, and as money talks and people walk, you had Shelley Hack. Oh no, wait. First it was
Charlotte,
Charlad,
Shelly
then
had,
Shelley Hack, and then at
and
one point
Tanya
Tanya
Roberts,
Roberts
who
was.
passed away last year.
Oh yeah, that's right. She did. She did pass away.
I was always partial to Kate
Angels. Steve
Jackson.
got it.
I was always
Huh?
partial to Kate Jackson.
Kate Jackson. She was. What wasn't she in that movie? How to Beat the High Cost of Living? You ever see that with Jane Curtin,
Yeah, Jane Curtin. I think it was Kate Jackson. Yeah,
Kate Jackson, and
yeah.
oh
When
gosh,
he said
not Sybil Shepherd.
when he pulls her
Oh, the
over.
one Jessica Lang.
Yeah, when he pulls her over and she goes, "Man, why are you speeding?" And she goes, "The Bionic Man couldn't keep it down." I don't. Yeah,
I don't get that.
yeah. Well,
Okay, maybe there was a joke in
yeah.
there.
It
Okay.
was different. Maybe I said it wrong, but anyway.
Uh,
Um,
but Farrah
next,
Fawcett, the original Angel. Um, and then
who had Vera Fawcett, who was a '70s icon, but had the misfortune of dying on the same day of Michael Jackson and being overshadowed in her death.
well, I think just the whole dying was probably the most unfortunate part.
Yeah, it
The
was. It
fact
was
that
unfortunate.
Michael,
It was unfortunate.
but yeah, Farrah Fawcett, who she's gonna be famous for dying the same day as Michael Jackson.
Yo, she was
Also
fine.
in the leading lady category, this next performer had her own television show, and also a talk show. So in that case, we probably also could have had Rosie O'Donnell because I think her talk show um, uh, preceded Ellen's show, and I
Yeah.
think her talk show kind of revived the whole daytime talk show. And I
Yeah.
know one of our leading ladies later on is was like queen of the daytime talk show, but and
Oh my goodness! I should have put my sweetheart Whoopi Goldberg on here for being on the View daytime talk show. Oh my gosh! Well, I'm
she
so
also was on television in my favorite Star Trek, and that was Next Generation.
yes, yes, yes. Whoopi Goldberg.
So,
But Ellen
but here's the
DeGeneres.
thing, though. I gotta say, Ellen DeGeneres's sitcom, I actually didn't like because
I loved it.
they actually I I think it totally kind of it took away, not took away, but it kind of went off on this other tangent, and they were trying to make her like the a modern day Lucille Ball, putting her in all these awkward situations and having her do all this physical comedy. And I think that wasn't who she was. She was more of a Seinfeld, more of a comic who did these word plays, like like her conversation with God. I mean, her humor to me, at least on stage, was in the words. It was in the storytelling, and I think it was more akin to a Seinfeld rather than a Lucille Ball. So I didn't really like her TV show
I love the TV
because of that.
show,
I think it became more authentic too when she came out, because
and that
she was able to be more of herself.
yeah, and that's the one thing I put her on the list for is because she's the first female lead to come out on TV. On her show, she came out in real life, but she also came out on her show, and they made the show about her coming out on the show. So that was pretty groundbreaking. I try to put groundbreaking people on this list, is what I was trying to say.
Blake Carrington was Charlie. Yes, the same actor who played on Dynasty was actually Charlie. And actually, our next leading lady, I found a great picture of her. Now I can't find it on the scroll. I apologize, and I know she's one of your favorites.
Queen
So
Latifah?
I'm sorry about it. Queen Latifah,
Queen
who not
Latifah.
only starred in Living Single along with Kim Fields and oh, I'm missing the other two women's names, but she was a producer as well, and that's something uh, to be said for a lot of our leading ladies. In addition to being the stars of these productions, and that happens on a lot of shows too. Like the first year, they're kind of like the hired hands, but as the shows develop popularity, kind of like I'm thinking Helen Hunt and Mad About You and other things, that they also get these producing credits, where they get to control more of the content and be more responsible for kind of what happens behind the scenes and how women are depicted. And I think that's an important thing to mention.
Queen
To get it on a
Latifah.
slightly serious side,
Yeah,
but
Queen Latifah was
Queen
also
Latifah is awesome. And you know what? If you don't believe that, if you don't believe the range, I got two movies for you. One is Set It Off, and the other is, oh gosh, I can't. I love the movie, and I keep forgetting the name of it.
in the house.
The Wolf, no, the Will Ferrell movie. Um, Will Ferrell and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I don't know that
It'll
movie.
come to me
I'm not a good. I'm not a good.
after
I'm
we
not.
finish this segment.
Oh, that's a
I
great
love this
picture.
picture of Queen
That is a
Latifah.
great.
I thought,
She's on my
is
Whoopi
that not a
Goldberg
great
list too.
picture?
She's on my Whoopi Goldberg list too. Um, Queen Latifah
One
also.
day we're gonna have to tell him the truth about his list, but okay.
Queen Latifah was also. I guess she started TV appearances. I'm not sure, but she started TV appearances on Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Hmm.
She did some guest stints on Fresh Prince of Bel Air. This is what the Living Single. Now she's on, and then she did a show in between Living Single and the one she's on now called Star. And now she's on the Equalizer, which is a great show.
Hmm.
It comes on Sunday nights on CBS.
Oh, You know what? You know who loves that show?
My dad.
Oh yeah, your dad. He it. You know, if there is a show that he is addicted to, if it's not on MSNBC or Sports Center, it is on The Equalizer.
Yeah, I know. I watch Equalize every week. I faithfully watch
He
Equalize every week.
records The Equalizer in case and you know what really agitates him, because it comes on Sunday night. If 60 minutes goes long because the sporting event went long. Oh, that happened like last week or 2 weeks ago. You want to talk grumpy old man? It was not pretty because he was upset because he didn't know when uh, to to take it. She was the only one who get through to Fonzie. Oh wait, Queen
That's
Latifah.
Mario. No, because earlier, um, um, Ed said he forgot Marion Ross, Mrs. C from Happy Days.
Oh, Miriam Ross. That's right,
Yeah,
Mrs. C from Happy Days. Um, I was
they
gonna
were
say,
doing
yeah.
it.
Oh, Stranger Than Fiction. That's the movie I keep forgetting the title of. I love that movie. It's so good. Anyway,
And next on the
so
list
good.
we have Kim Fields,
Kim
who's been in the
Fields.
act. Kim, who was on Facts of Life, and then Living Single,
I
and she's
found
been in.
this picture on the internet. I just thought it was so cute because it
Wow.
was like it was like time travel. So sometimes child actors survive.
Yeah,
You got your Kim
and but she's
Fields, your
amazing.
Regina Kings,
Yes, yes.
Peter Billingsley. Sometimes it does work out, and
You know what? You
but
know what? 2 weeks ago, I was 2 weeks years old. 2 weeks ago, I just found out that Megan Good was a kid on Friday.
on Friday.
The movie Friday.
Oh, okay.
Megan Good was one of the kids at the ice cream truck.
Mhm. Well, even I mean, some of our male leads today started off as child actors because, like Ryan Gosling and even Ryan Reynolds, they both started off as teen or young actors, and your Ben Afflecks and Matt Damon's, and a lot of those folks started out very young. So anyway, next we have who's on the list next.
Oprah Winfrey. I spelled the name wrong.
Yeah, really wrong. Oprah, who, again, when you're talking talk shows and queen of television, magazine, all things Oprah, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, come on.
she's Oprah.
Oprah.
She's
And
Oprah doing Oprah.
next I had to represent the soap operas, and I picked the soap opera
And
queen.
there's tons of soap operas, but the queen
The
has
queen,
to be
Susan Lucci.
Erica Kane.
Oh, that's a great picture of Susan Lucci.
And Susan Lucci. And
Susan,
this
look,
woman is so teeny. She can't be like 5 feet tall. I don't know
really?
how tall she is. Yeah, I remember years ago when I worked at Strawbridge and Clothier down at 8th and Market. When I worked in the main building in the accounting department, she was there for like, some kind of perfume launch or something, signing pictures or whatever. And of course, all the grunges upstairs in accounting, and everybody was like, okay, got to come down and see, it's Susan Lucci. Because I'm telling you, there was a period in the 80s, like the mid 80s, all my children was the bomb
Yeah, it
diggity.
was.
I mean,
It was. It
is it
was.
is it still on? Like, do they have any soaps
No,
anymore?
I
What
don't
has
think. I don't
happened
know.
to the
I think
soaps?
I think General
I mean,
Hospital is still on. All my children
General
is
Hospital's
done.
still on.
I think all my children. When are they supposed to do like something online or something, or I don't know. I don't know what happened to all my children, but it's done. It's done.
I know, yeah. Oprah, you get a car, you get a
You get a
car, you
car.
get
You
a
get a
car.
car.
I needed to be there that day.
You know what I'm saying?
I have a pic from Dynamite from the Thelma Evans wedding to Keith from Good Times.
I removed Keith and put my picture with her, and that is sad.
That's old. That's old school '80s. But
That's
yeah, All
sad.
My Children was the thing back in
All
the
my
'80s. Although
children.
I didn't understand the whole Luke and Laura thing because I'm sorry, he raped her, and I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. But why are we glorifying that? But that's another story for another day. Um, but yeah, I was an All My Children fan, and I told my Mike Knight story, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
But
yeah.
tell it again. Tell it again. Tell it again.
Back in the day, back in my day, no, back when I was doing stand up comedy and I had to do a show out in Long Island. And um, at this particular show, they had like comics to warm up for the soap stars. Meanwhile, the place is packed. And granted, they don't want to really hear from the comics, they just want the soap stars. And the two soap stars were this one actor who I can't even remember whether that was his character. No, yeah, his real name was Michael Knight. I forgot his character, but I
Tad,
remember
Tad, Tad, Tad,
Tad Martin.
Tad Martin,
Tad
Tad Martin,
Martin.
Tad Martin.
And what was so funny is I had to do this gig, and I remember at the time, and Tad Martin and whoever the actor who played his brother.
The guy that
Um,
played his brother was a guy that was in the 80s. He was in a He-Man movie.
Okay, because he was a younger actor.
Yeah.
And, I mean, not just physically younger than the guy who played Tad Martin, but also this was kind of new to him, so he was nervous or whatever. Anyway, they were late, and I was the MC, so I had to like stall and do all this time waiting for them to kind of like arrive. And that was a weird experience because again, nobody wanted to hear me and my little jokes. They just wanted, you know, oh, Tad Martin, So in any case, I just remember getting this gig and realizing that uh, the one person in my life who would be excited to know I met these All My Children's stars, or the one person I called, do you know who it was?
Mhm.
It was you. And I remember calling Kitty going, I just met Tad Martin. But what was really cool was like
I'm sorry.
backstage. You
Time
could
out. Time out. Time out. Time out. I don't remember being into soap operas when I was young.
are you gonna sit up here and tell a bold faced lie?
Yeah, I got a rep to protect. I'm kind of cool now. Now I don't remember that.
You were big time into All My Children
No,
at
I
one point.
wasn't.
Because I
No, I
remember
wasn't.
when I got that gig, you were the person I went to tell. But more interestingly enough, uh, off stage when like the main comedy act was on right before I had to go out and introduce them, and we're talking and being introduced, and a guy, Michael Knight was the actor who played Tad Martin, and he was just confident. He had been doing it for a couple years. He was okay. The other guy, the younger guy, he was tossing shots back because he was so nervous. So he was drinking up some liquid courage. Let me just say that, not to disparage the poor child, but hey, I get it. Anyway, Michael Knight told the best story, but he wasn't comfortable enough telling the story on stage. But he was telling a story. His wife, her ex-husband was David Hasselhoff. So here's what I propose, that, almost like this is a plot of a movie. She was destined to marry someone named Michael Knight. She married David Hasselhoff, the Knight Rider, because his character's name was Michael Knight. And evidently she got the wrong Michael Knight because he only played Michael Knight. So when they divorced, she was actually married to this actor who played Tad Martin, whose name was Michael Knight. I thought that was a great story. And he was telling us that, but he didn't tell it on stage. But I just thought that was fun and interesting. And also the fact that you, my friend, you, my brother, I love you, but you were a hardcore All My Children fan.
Moving on to the next person we have on our list. Right
Oh gosh, you used to work at remember Clover?
Yeah, I
Before
remember
there was
Clover.
Walmart, people, there was a
There
Clover.
was
Used to
Clover.
love Clover.
Yeah.
Although working for Storage and Clothier, there we would get like 20% off, but Clover they only gave us 10%. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, it's
I
your
worked at
business model. And
I worked
even
at
later on, it was less. You got less, didn't you?
yeah, I worked as a salesperson for Strawberries and Clothing in Echelon Mall. And I got in a
Mm.
lot of trouble working at Strawberries and Clothing at Echelon Mall.
Oh gosh, I worked at Echelon Mall too, in the
I was very
hosiery department for
I was
years.
very combative, and I'll tell you stories. I was very combative, and management really didn't like me because I stood up for myself. I was Black Lives Matter before Black Lives Matter, you know.
All right, so yeah,
But anyway, so our next person on the
Strawbridge
list,
sales clerk at Strawbridge and Clothier. I'm not quite sure you want to go all out to be radical, but I actually worked in sales, and then when I graduated, worked in the accounting offices. So, but moving on with the list. And yes, Ed, he was hardcore on my children. He was more on my children, like, and I was there for a while throughout college. You know, you kind of get into it, and I was all into it. But homeboy was he could tell you all. He could tell you
next
something.
on our list is Shaniqua Martin Green, and she was in Star Trek. She's in Star Trek Discovery, and the reason I put her on the
She
list
also
is
came from
Walking
she
Dead.
also came from Walking Dead. Yeah.
But the reason I put her on the list is that she's the first black female to be a starship captain.
There you go. Although we didn't do Captain Janeway because she was the first female captain. Kate
Yes.
Mulgrew, was it Kate Mulgrew?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Kate Mulgrew was the first. But again, I'm sorry, I'm still next generation. Picard is like the ultimate captain. I'm more Picard than even Kirk. Okay, Kirk is
Oh no, 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 no. Kurt was the
Picard
man.
is the
Kurt
definitive
Kurt was
captain. Come
Kurt was the man. He
eh.
was always hooking up with alien women. He was the man.
That's true.
So
Black,
next,
white, green.
he
Kurt was
didn't
on
care.
it.
Kurt didn't care. Kurt. Well, I'm gonna get to Captain Kirk in.
Kurt was like Shingles. Shingles doesn't care.
I'm gonna get to Captain Kirk later on when we get to the top. But anyway, our next person is Mariska Haggerty.
Law and Order,
Olivia
SVU,
what's her name? Olivia Benson.
Olivia Benson. Dun-dun.
Yes.
Oh man, you know what? I didn't know she was going to be on the list. I would have whipped out my card with the sound effect. Boom, boom.
Dum
We probably
bum piano.
would have gotten a copyright strike for that too. But
And
Mariska Hargitay, do you know who her mother is?
who's her mother?
Jane Mansfield.
Wow.
Her mom is Jane Mansfield, and her father, I can't remember his name. He was a bodybuilder or something. So, yeah, she's got the good genes. Um, Benson, yeah, Olivia
Olivia
Benson.
Benson.
And
And I put this one on the list
and
for
how
you.
many of you out there have called it Law and Order SUV instead of SVU?
I have.
Because I have a lot.
I have. The
But
next one I put on the list for
I'm
you.
dyslexic.
The next one I
Oh,
put on the list for
thank
you.
you.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Galar,
Gellar.
Buffy the Vamp. No, I'm joking.
Gellar.
I guess the next two are for me too, because I'm a big Buffy fan.
Yes.
See, we
And
could
you're
do a Buffy
also
show if you were into it. I know
well,
you're not Buffy, but
no, I'm not Buffy. The
Buffy
next
is
one,
awesome. Angel is cool too, and you know
no,
Firefly too. If we want to go there.
No, Angel was a joke because when I was at Comic Con, I was trying to put you on the phone with Angel. They wanted to charge me $45 for him to send you a message via video phone.
Was that Angel or Spike? I thought that was Spike.
Oh, that was Spike. That was Spike. That was Spike.
That was Spike.
That was Spike.
Because
Meanwhile,
Angel, David Bonares, he's actually from Philly. His
yeah.
dad was a weatherman in Philly for years.
Oh, really?
Robert, I can't think of his name. I think on ABC.
I don't.
Yes, Charisma Carpenter was awesome from Buffy, and then she went on to Angel. Although I don't know, like towards the end, her plot line in Angel was kind of icky. I didn't like the fact that at one point she was kind of like Connor's mother figure, and next thing you know, she's like sleeping with him. That that just didn't sit well with me. But prior to that, I did like to see her
What kind,
transformation from
what kind of
Cordelia
what,
to
what kind of show are you watching? Like,
it. I'm well, Angel. It went through some things. It went through some changes. I
apparently
think trying
so.
to stay on the air.
Apparently
Anyway,
so. And
but
next we have one of your other favorite shows. We have Gillian Anderson, who played Dana Scully.
Scully, yes, Mulder and Scully. Big X File fan. And see, if you were into these shows, we could do a whole episode on X Files. X Files was awesome. Again, I always hated the mythology episodes where they got into all the alien stuff. But some of the funny episodes were just some of the best. Some of the relationship episodes, because it's a whole thing called shippers. And I remember back when I was big into the X Files, after the episode, there would be these chat boards. I don't know how far you folks go back, but before we had like YouTube and streaming and Facebook and all these other places, there was things like Delphi and CompuServe, and you would have these like chat groups, and we would just like rehash everything in the episode because that's how nerdy we were. And evidently, that's how nerdy we still are. All right, Steve. An X file, Philes. So that's cool. And oh, I should have brought it. It's probably in the other room. I actually have two Xboxes, and they're not video games. They're just these boxes of X File memorabilia that I have, including action figures, bobbleheads, um, in storage back there somewhere, because that's oh, and trading cards like you wouldn't believe. But okay, we are learning way too much about the
Yes,
extent of my
yes,
nerdiness.
yes.
So
We are. We are.
thank
So
you, and
next
we'll
on
move
the
on.
list is a show I have never watched, but I thought it was significant to put it on here because Jodie Whittaker is the first female Doctor Who.
Oh.
So I thought that was phenomenal.
And I don't know why. And I know at one point I was watching, and I forgot which Doctor who it was, that I did watch a couple episodes because I never considered myself a sci-fi fan. I don't really like sci-fi, but then when I start looking at the shows that I really became a big fan of, um, whether it was like Star Trek or Buffy or X Files and things, because a lot of times they with sci-fi, you could tell stories that relate to what's going on in the world and life, and you know, just really good stories about relationships, about people through this lens of sci-fi, which I just found fascinating. Um, Octavia Butler is one of my favorite authors, and she's a sci-fi author. Her most famous book is called Kindred, and a lot of folks read that in college. But she has a whole series of sci-fi novels that I believe at one point they were trying to make into a movie. I don't know whether they've been successful or not. I would love to see her work come to life on screen because unfortunately she's passed away. But again, the thing I like about sci-fi is the stories that you can tell. And yeah, the Who, Doctor Who, the Who, Doctor Who is one I probably need to go back and delve into. I don't know if any of our pop culture kids are Doctor Who fans, but maybe we can get one of them on here to explain Doctor Who to us. I don't think Mulder ever smiled. I think he smiled. Hey, if you ever see a postmodern Prometheus, when he's dancing with Scully to the Cher song, I think he cracks a smile in that one. So he does smile. And okay, let's go because I know our list is running long.
Yeah.
Next, you have from the Cosby Show, Felicia Rashad, and I don't think I got a
Rashad,
photo of her.
who
Mhm.
did the famous scene is with Elvin is, if you don't get your act together, you will never have no one anywhere, anytime, anywhere, any place. When he was being macho and she was getting the tea for her husband and you gotta YouTube it. It's funny.
Guess you had to be there.
You had
Okay.
to be there. So next we have Betty White, who had the Betty White Show, Mary Tyler Moore Show, and the Golden Girls, and she had a show after that with Valerie Bertinelli. I forget what that show was called.
Hot in Cleveland.
Hot in Cleveland, yes.
Hot in Cleveland. So
Hot
Betty
in Cleveland.
White
Yeah,
did it
Betty
all.
White.
Although I think it's so lame that people are coming back now that she's dead saying, oh, she was really kind of, nasty to folks. Although I'm sorry, when she first died and I saw that clip from The Proposal with
With Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds, Sandra Bullock, and Betty White. Uh, I laughed too hard,
When
too
Betty
hard.
White says she wants a cup of coffee, you get her a cup of coffee.
You get her. And then she's like hugging her and giving him the finger. I just, I thought that was so. Oh, you know what I saw a couple of weeks ago? Have you seen Free Guy?
Yes, I see Free Guy.
Did you like Free Guy?
It's okay.
I actually enjoyed it. I'm
It's okay.
like sometimes I can only take so much um Ronald
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds doing Ryan Reynolds, um it can get a little, it can wear on you,
It's Free Guy
but
was something. Free Guy was something. If I have nothing to do, I would watch it again.
yeah. Yeah, I could watch again, and I think that's why I liked him in The Proposal, because he wasn't as Ronald as
Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds.
Reynolds as he can be. If
Yeah.
that's a thing, if I can use his name as an adjective, because sometimes he's a little too Ryan Reynolds for me. But that's just me.
I like Ryan Reynolds.
But he's awful nice to look at. He's no
Okay, well, I don't know
Ryan
about that, but
Gosling,
yeah,
but huh?
yeah,
And
I'm
none
cool.
of them are Keanu, but hey, it is what it is. All right. And if you're talking Betty White, you have to also talk about some of the other Golden Girls. And not to exclude the other two, but B. Author, who before she was a Golden Girl, she was Maud, and she was the leading lady. So of all the breakout shows from um, All in the Family, that
And
definitely
here's the thing
was a
about here's the thing that put
standout
Here's the
character.
thing that put Beyonce on the list. Um, in Maud, in the show Maud, just like a lot of other Norman Lear shows, which were comedy filled, but also held an amount of reality to the comedy. Maud was one of those shows who sometimes crossed the line of comedy into reality and did things. All in the Family did it a few times. Good Times did it a few times. The Jeffersons even did it. Where they cross the line and do a serious subject within the comedy. So Maud was,
You
especially back in
mean
those
a
days.
very special episode? Sorry. Because that was every week on The Facts of Life. I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay.
But no. And actually, well, it's been said by a ton of comics, funnier and more famous than I ever got to be, that the real comedy, and maybe that's why my three favorite comics, the reason they are my favorites, because their comedy comes from this place of truth. So the closer you get to the truth, like for instance, Kenny being this huge All My Children fan, the more you get to comedy. And that's why I love Lenny Bruce, George Carlin, and Richard Pryor, because their comedy was based in such truth that, they just took it to the extreme. But yeah, the Norman Lear shows definitely did that. And Maud was probably Murphy Brown before Murphy Brown, because a lot of times they would deal with like topics and subjects of the day, kind of like they did on Murphy Brown, I think.
Yeah, but I think Maul was a little bit more hard hitting on some of those topics than Murphy Brown.
I, I beg to differ. I kind of think I kind of think Murphy Brown, push some envelopes in dealing with some of the topics of that time, because that was like what, early '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
revival of Murphy Brown wasn't that great though.
I was that on a streaming service because I don't think I
No, I
watched
think
it.
it was on regular TV, but it didn't last long. And it was like they were trying too hard to push the envelope on a revival. It was like a bunch of
Right.
old people. It was a bunch of older people trying to be young and push the envelope again, and it just wasn't. It just didn't have the
Plus,
same
the
energy.
painter guy wasn't there. What was his name? I can't
Yeah, but he
remember.
died. He died.
He died in real life. Uh, Love Joe's character on The Facts of Life. Yes, if you were going to be one of the four, although like The Facts of Life, just like
She was hot.
just like Living Single, and even Golden Girls, you had this formula. Whenever you had like four women, like you had the ditzy one, you had the like you know the like the practical leader one, you had the like sex pot one. It was a formula, basically. The first professional single mom. Well,
Uh
actually, I think we're going to
no,
get to someone who
we're
was,
gonna get to
I
that.
think, the first professional single mom.
We're gonna
Actually,
get to
we
that.
do have,
Yeah,
I don't know whether she was the first, but I'm pretty sure she might have
yeah.
been.
He might have
Well,
been.
let's continue with the list.
Let's continue
Let's
with this.
continue
So
with the list.
next we have Linda Carter, who played Wonder Woman, who is still beautiful today. And one thing about Wonder Woman is, up until this time, you were used to seeing a live action Superman, live action Batman, live action Hulk, and now young women had a chance to see a live action female superhero on TV and kind of connect with that. It's the same thing with comic books. There's a lot of comic books that have women stars, such as Wonder Woman, Birds of Prey, Batgirl, things like that, and Black Widow, where there are a lot of young women into the nerd community and superhero nerd community and comic book community who have who need somebody to identify with. And Linda Carter gave in the '70s gave a lot of young women a superhero to identify with.
So
That's
why didn't they give Linda Carter like a cameo or
they
something?
did.
And she did. She was
And
in
then
Wonder Woman.
in the newer one, in the last Wonder Woman
Oh,
1984,
1984.
she did. Yeah, she did. The movie sucked, but Linda Carter had a cameo.
It was so hard to watch. I
It was.
tried. I
She
really
had a
tried.
she had a cameo at the very end. I forget whether it was a post credit scene, but Linda Carter had a cameo in that one, and it was hard to watch to get to that part.
Okay, so that's probably why I didn't see it.
Yeah,
It was,
because it pretty much made Wonder Woman a
and
rapist.
it, but I guess what where I was disappointed is I really love Christian Wig. I think she's hysterical. I was not a big Bridesmaid fan, but I still think she was funny. I thought she was really great in the Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which I know didn't do very well, but I thought it was a wonderful and just beautifully made movie. Ben Stiller directed that. But anyway, I like Christian Wiig, and I really loved the female reboot of Ghostbusters,
I did too.
despite
I did
all the
too.
negative
I did
criticism
too.
and comments
I like
about it.
I like
I
I
thought it
like
was great.
I like the female reboot of Ghostbusters better than I like the reunion Ghostbusters that they last did.
Better than which one?
Better than the last Ghostbusters movie. I like the female
Right.
version better than the last Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, I thought
That
I
that
thought it was
to me
great.
to me that was
And I
fantastic.
thought I thought it got slighted and really unjustly so. So,
I,
but anyway, but having Christian Wig and I really like what's her name, Gail Gadot.
the
Gadot.
Gal Gadot, yeah. The thing about it is that
I really like her as Wonder Woman. I'm like,
the thing
in
about
fact, my favorite line in Justice League is "I work with children." Anyway, which
the thing
I
about
do.
thing about the movie her the villain character was not was like insignificant really, and it followed the same villain formula of this nerdy person who gets powers and gets her head big and
Mhm.
wants to be more powerful than like the special person that's the hero. It's we've seen it before. You should have did something different. Ed has a comment here. Linda Carter might be my first TV crush. Ed, in the 70s, Linda Carter was everybody's female crush. You weren't different than anybody else. It was ISIS and then Linda Carter. I don't understand.
Um, yeah. Um, although, yeah. So anyway, Wonder Woman, Golden Lasso, Linda Carter. All right, we got to get this.
All right,
Our
we gotta get
next,
the movie.
our
Okay,
we kept saying we're gonna design the stream so that we cut off at like 45 minutes, and here we are over an hour in. So let's just boom through these last three, or
so
last four or five. All right,
Dinah Shore,
Dinah
who
Shore.
had a talk show back in the day, who was great in that. Cal Burnett, whose talk show
One of
was
the
iconic. We put her on it because that talk show was iconic that Cal Burnett did. If you didn't laugh at this, you didn't know how to laugh.
well, it was a variety show.
Variety show,
It was
yes.
like that golden age, that sweet spot where we had like the variety show,
Yes.
um, everything from the Gong Show to Donnie and Marie to Carol
Yeah.
Burnett Show. That's back in the 70s. That was some must-watch TV back in the day. Come on. Before reality TV took hold of the conversation, which is why I don't even watch network TV anymore. And you know who I blame for that? MTV. Why don't they show music videos anymore? I want my MTV. I want music videos. Bring that back. I don't need to be 16 and pregnant. I don't need these reality shows. But MTV killed it. It killed television. Why? The Real World. And I'll admit, I was in there. I was all for it. I was watching the first season. The whole Puck thing, I was there. And now I regret it because MTV has bred this disease of, you know what? I got real life. You know, I, I'm seeing these people every day. I don't need to watch them on the TV. Kardashians. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let me come back from that rant. We are
So we're
not
gonna
doing a reality TV show,
no.
needless to say. And I know it's a core staple of pop culture these days, but I don't need to promote that stuff. But
So
anyway.
we're gonna go back to Audrey's question about a working single mom, and I'm gonna give you Diana Carroll, who
Ah,
played Julia in 1968, I believe the show aired, and she was a single mom. She was the first black woman to star in a TV series as a non-servant role. She was a nurse. She was a single mom that was a nurse, and that's what the show is about. It lasted maybe 2 years, 2 seasons. But Diana Carroll, and then Diana Carroll, a lot of people know her from her
from
iconic role in
Dynasty.
Dynasty. So
And the fight scene.
yes, the fight scene.
Don't remember anything, just her and Morgan Fairchild having at it.
You haven't had it. So we're going to move on to Mary Tyler Moore,
did
who
you did you Was Dynasty, wasn't that a spinoff of Knots Landing?
No, Knots
Or was it
Landing
a
was
spinoff of
no
Dallas?
Knots Landing was a spinoff of Dallas.
Okay.
I don't think
I
Dynasty
thought
was a spinoff of
Dynasty was a spinoff of Dallas, unless it was
I,
just the
I,
same
I don't know.
production
It
company.
might have been. No, I don't think it
Ed'll
was.
Ed'll tell us.
I think they were on different channels actually. But
No, I thought.
yeah,
Okay, all right.
okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Let's
Usually
move
I'm
on.
not.
Let's move on to
Okay,
Mary Tyler Moore, who started off in a Dick Van Dyke show, and then went to the Mary Tyler Moore show, which spawned shows like Rhoda and what else was spawned besides Rhoda?
Lou Grant,
Lou Grant, yeah.
Mr.
So Mr.
Grant,
Grant. So Mary
Mary
Tyler
Tyler Moore,
Moore
who could turn the world on with a
with a
smile,
smile. You're going to make
who
it
could take a
after all.
nothing day and suddenly make it seem worthwhile. Well,
Yes.
it's you, girl, and you should know it. In fact, when we do TV theme songs, we should read them with dramatic pauses. Anyway, like spoken word pieces.
Yes.
Uh,
The way Carl Reiner used to do at the award shows.
yeah. So, but yeah, Mary Tyler
Um,
Moore, first iconic on the Dick Van Dyke show, then on the
yes.
Mary Tyler Moore show. But yeah,
And next we're going to go
awesome.
to Nichelle Nichols, who played Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek. Now, one of the things that puts her on this list is because she was a black woman who was also not, she wasn't a star, but she was a non-starring role. Now, the story is that she wanted to quit Star Trek because she didn't think she was making a difference or an impact. Martin Luther King actually talked her out of quitting being on Star Trek because, you know, he was telling her, young black kids are able to see somebody in space and you're doing a good thing. So she actually did not quit Star Trek because of the talk of Martin Luther King. Now, also, coming back to William Shatner and Nicole and Nichelle Nichols shared the first interracial kiss on TV. That was them.
But just to your first point, though, I mean, Martin Luther King, and I get what you're saying, but I don't remember him putting those notes in his, letter from a Birmingham jail. But okay. But Knots Landing, okay, was sorry, just trying to keep it a little light. A spinoff of Dallas. So yes, it was a spinoff of Dallas set in a fictional coastal suburb of Los Angeles and initially centered on the lives of four married couples living in a cul-de-sac. Right. Because I remember, because mommy used to say, like, we actually liked the show because it just revolved around these four families. Then it started to get more serial and soap
Yeah.
opera
Yeah, I
and
liked
kind
it
of
in the
lost
I
its
like not saying
support.
in the beginning, and then as it got, yeah, it was too, yeah.
Yeah, it got to
So
be too much.
number one on
So,
our list
leading
of
no conversation about leading ladies in television, excuse me, would not be complete without our number one person. And I was going to try to bring up the
you got
photo,
an
but
image. Gotta
now
have an image.
I
Gotta
had
have
an
an image for this.
image.
You gotta have an image for
I
this.
downloaded it, but I guess it did. You know what?
Okay.
Because sometimes if the image is in a JPEG, no, if it's a web image and not a JPEG, it won't come up. So I don't have an image. So stall till I get an image.
Okay. So
Let everybody in the chat guess until I get an image.
who is our number one person? That is the leading lady of TV. And it's got to be a no-brainer for a lot of people because when I told people I was doing a show on leading ladies of TV, they all mentioned this lady first.
Uh,
So
oh, Falcon Crest. Maybe that was a spinoff of
I don't
Dynasty.
think so. I don't think so. I think Dynasty stood on its
Dynasty
own.
either was a spinoff or had a spinoff. I mean, I got to go back and research this because I don't think Dynasty just came out of the blue. Either it was the answer to another network's answer to Dallas,
Dallas,
because
I
I
think
think
it
Dallas
was.
was
I think it was.
CBS.
I think it was an answer
I
to
thought it
another.
was a spinoff in
I
some
thought it was.
way.
I thought it was an answer to another show. Like Dallas at the time, Dallas was kicking everybody's butt in the ratings. So
Well,
you
yeah.
had to do something.
Well, well, that's because they left on that first season cliffhanger. That Who Shot Jr. That just that just took them to like another level, and
And
because
then,
that
and then
that was a
Bobby.
part of the pop culture lexicon of that summer. Everybody was speculating,
And then
who shot Jr.
the next season, Bobby coming out of the shower because it was a dream that he died.
Yeah, that was like, oh, you guys are punking us. That's yeah. So our number one first lady of television is usually the person people think of when they think of female leading ladies in television, and that is Lucille
Lucy.
Ball of I Love Lucy, and later the Lucy Show, and I think I always remember whenever we talk about Lucy and mom talks about her father, that when that show would come on and they say, I love Lucy, and he would go, and I don't. So either you loved her or you hated her. I remember getting to go to Disney World in Florida, and one of the I can't remember. One of the things I went to, it was like a reenact, or maybe that was at Universal Studios. It might have been, I can't remember, somewhere in Florida. But they had a thing where they were reenacting scenes, and it was the candy scene. And they take people from the audience, and you got to like act it out. And I got to do that candy scene, and and they had like the blue screen up, so it it would look like you were in the 50s or whatever, with the things with the candy, and they dress you up in the costumes. It was kind of fun. I think it was maybe on one of the class trips when we took the kids to Florida, but I got to be one of the people to do that. And also we got a really, really cool talk from Darth Vader himself, James Earl Jones. So we got to hear him speak. So that was really some cool
Nice, nice.
stuff.
Was it? Was
We
it
go
on?
with
Was James Earl Jones actually there?
yeah. We were like in this. I guess we got to participate in a couple different things, but I remember being in the theater and getting to hear like James Earl Jones. And I don't know whether it was just that he was there speaking, or whether it was something specifically for like the tour groups coming in with schools and stuff. But or it might have been one time I went. I took a vacation and I went to Florida, and I'm like, I want to go, so I'm gonna go. I do things like that. I gotta find some place to go this summer, because I definitely need to take a good like 4 or 5 days and just go somewhere and be there, and you know be immersed in an otherworldliness. I don't think I want to go to
I'm
the
taking. I'm
Disney,
taking.
but
I'm taking one vacation. I'm coming down to see you guys.
oh, nice, nice. So I don't have to mail this. You'll come and get it.
I'll come and get it in June.
Although I think it's just interesting that you assumed it was yours, but okay.
I'm coming in
Because they're
June.
quite heavy. I thought about putting them in the mail anyway, but they're quite heavy.
I'm gonna drive down in June, and I'm taking it back with me.
Oh, Steve mentioned the Hardy Boys Nancy Drew mysteries. Who played
Mm.
Nancy Drew? What
I don't
actress
know.
was that?
I forgot who it was.
Oh,
Sally
there's some
Struthers,
honorable
Pam Barber,
mentions. Yeah.
Lonnie Anderson, Victoria Principal, Elizabeth Montgomery, Bewitched, Suzanne Summers.
Bewitched. Yes, come and knock on my door. Wow, many, many more.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to make I'm trying to make my nose do the Bewitched.
no, you can't do it. No, Elizabeth Montgomery was awesome. Bewitched.
I
That was
think I
old.
think
Yeah.
I think that was special effects to make her do that.
No, I thought she can do that. That was something she could do, so they incorporated it into the show. Because I think originally it was like an ear tug, or it was supposed to be something else. But when she did that, they, were able to use it and incorporate it into
I'm
the
annoyed.
show.
I'm annoyed that I can't do it.
it's one of those things. Let it go. Well, you know what? I always wished I was like double jointed, like those people who could twist and mangle their fingers or whatever. And I wanted that. Pamela
Little
Sue
Sue
Martin.
Martin was Nancy
Yes,
Drew.
Nancy Drew. That's right. Although, if you really want to, we want to talk first ladies of TV. If we want to go back in the Wayback Machine, I'm thinking also too of Christy McNichol from
Oh,
Family.
yes,
Buddy, I used to love Buddy. And
yes,
Sadie
yes,
Thomas. Oh my God. I used to love that show. Meredith Baxter Burney.
yes. Meredith
Not
Baxter
only
Burney.
not only from Family, but also from Family Ties.
Yes, yes.
That
And,
was like
and,
her
and
whole career.
yeah, yeah. And we
Let me
also
guess, she's on your list too?
no,
I'm sorry. Just- that I'm gonna that bad Kathy. I'm just being bad now.
yeah,
Um
yeah. No, she's not on my list.
Oh man! And actually, a more modern day list. You probably could even put like Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, who star in what is it, Grace and Frankie?
Yeah, I think that got canceled, but yes, 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 yes.
Oh, it did. Okay, but
Hmm.
again, that's part of that whole streaming service. And
Hmm.
like I said, I'm just getting into streaming, and there's so much stuff out there to stream.
You know
I
what?
mean, some of it's good, some of it's
In my
bad.
list also, I stayed away from a lot of the newer actresses
Hmm.
because to me, the ladies of TV are more the classic actresses from back in the day, and the newer ones to
Classic
me,
shows.
yeah,
Hmm.
haven't paid their dues to be ladies of TV yet.
Well, I will say, like we put Gillian Anderson on. We only mentioned the X Files because that's what I know, but she's actually starred in about three or four different shows,
Mhm.
including The Crown and I think there was like an action show too. But again, I'm just in it for the X Files.
Donna Douglas, Ellie Mae Clampett.
But she wasn't the lead though, because then we'd have to go because like I said, we'd have to go down that rabbit hole, and then we'd have to include the actresses who played Marilyn on the Monsters,
You know who we
and
didn't put on
because
there? We didn't put on there.
I don't think she was on Petticoat Junction.
No, we didn't put Shelley Long from Cheers.
Oh, Shelley Long from Cheers, or we could also put Kirstie Alley, because
No, no, no,
actually
just Shelley Long.
I thought because I thought that was a hard gig to have to come in after, there was so much Sam and Diane, and everybody really loved that chemistry, but to have to come in and and replace that actress, to me that was some heavy lifting, and I think she did a fine job. I I'm just gonna go with
Yeah, no,
that.
no, no. I would go with that. I would go with that.
I, Pat Priest was Marilyn, but I thought there
Actually,
were two
actually, actually,
Marilyns.
Kirstie Alley
Hmm.
reminds me of a girlfriend I had back in the late '80s, early '90s.
And this is relevant to the conversation. How?
Well, I did think Kirstie Alley was more of a better match and more attractive than Shelley Long.
But again, there was something about that chemistry. And of course, they did Chris and Rita, Sam and Diane, Dave and Maddie, Scully and Mulder. They made the mistake. The
Chris
whole
and Rita.
show, you got that,
Chris and
huh?
Rita. What's that from? Chris and Rita.
Silk Stockings.
Oh yeah, Silk Stockings. Yeah.
That's the show me and my mother, we love that show. Because when they got together, we were on the phone with each other going, oh my God, oh my God. And my dad's like, hold on, she's here yelling at the TV too. And we're like, no, no. But yeah, when you have those shows where it's built on
And
that,
then they mess up that chemistry.
and they
Then
mess with that
that you
chemistry,
know
and
what
then you're like,
that is actually a show too.
yeah. I thought we
So
did a show on that. Yeah,
for the
when you
chemistry,
mess up that
when you mess with
chemistry,
that chemistry,
because believe it or not, as big an X-File fan as I am, I didn't even watch the last couple of episodes of their last season.
Because they created a romance between them, didn't they?
Huh?
They created a
Well, no,
romance.
like by the end of the series, they were like together, and for I think even in the movie, well, by the time after the series ended in the second movie, which was horrible, which was the wrong movie, the movie they needed to make back then would have been The Search for William, but I digress. Don't let me go down the X Files rabbit hole because
Don't put that X Files.
we'll be down there for another hour because that's the movie they should have made. Um, but yeah, once you have that oh, who's the boss? They did it too. Like the whole show, you got that whole like tension, and and that kind of keeps it going. And but then when they get together, it just falls flat. I think it falls flat.
But you know what it didn't happen with? It didn't happen
What?
with Joni and Chachi.
No, they got their own show.
Yeah, Chachi tried for years to get Joni, and she was turning him down. Then all of a sudden, she changed her mind when he got bigger, and his voice changed, and then she gave him a shot, and then they got their own show, but didn't last because they wound up going back to Happy Days.
So there again, but see, Joni and Chachi wasn't the same kind of like. I don't know. To me, it's got to be. There's like this formula to it.
Yeah,
because like, will they? Won't they?
And
actually, it happened on Fringe. As much as I love that show, it was better when they weren't together. Because as soon as they get together, then the plots get all complicated and messy. And
it happened with on Friends with Rachel and Ross. But they were on a break.
We were on a break. Oh man. Anyway, you know what? We got to get out of here. Another Die Hard reference. Oh gosh. The show lasted as long as it did because they would, and I think for Cheers, definitely, I think that did help it. They were able to carry it on because, again, you had that sparring that you kind of needed, and they didn't get together, so that's why they got.
Didn't Sam and Rebecca have a baby together?
Did they?
Weren't they trying to have a baby?
Or maybe I stopped watching by then. I don't know.
Yeah.
As always, Die Hard, a great Christmas movie. There's a running theme. Yeah, it's a classic jump the shark scenario.
Yeah.
That definitely, when the two, male female leads who aren't involved get involved, and then boom. They were both great for their times on Cheers. I think they were. I think both Shelley Long and, although I don't know, I kind of feel bad for Shelley Long too, because at one point she had this career you thought was going someplace, and I'm telling you, Night Shift is just the best movie. Directed by Ron Howard. If you haven't seen it, go out and watch that because that's good. And you'll recognize the song at the end, even though it was recorded by 4 superstars. The Rod Stewart version is at the end of Night Shift. That's what friends are for. Excellent movie. Anyway, I digress, but we are done. And what? It only took us, 90 minutes? So next week.
It's not my fault.
I know, and you tried to do a short list. Next time the list, you know what? We're gonna pick our top 5 Brady episodes.
Okay.
Because we can't cover them all. How many are there? There's not that many. I don't think the Brady Bunch ran for that long.
I'm gonna hang out. Look, tomorrow I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna hang out. Oh, I'm gonna hang out with my son, my daughter-in-law, my grandson for a little bit tomorrow, and then I'm gonna watch Brady Bunch.
Post pictures.
Yeah, we should. We might.
Are you guys seeing a movie?
No. We're just gonna hang out and have pizza, play video games.
Oh, nice, relaxing Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
Oh, the Brady Bunch ran for five. Of course, Ed, all things Brady.
Yeah,
He
all things
knows all
Brady,
things
Edward.
Brady. So
No, yes.
next week we'll see you back here, same bat channel, same bat station. I don't
Same
know
bat
why.
time, same bat
Same bat
channel.
time.
See you
For
next week.
Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture. Thank you, pop culture kids, so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and we will see you next week.
God bless your soul and keep living. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.